Okay, ladies and gentlemen, good evening. My name is Karina, and tonight's topic is advertising. Okay, it's been a while since I was last here. Tonight it's not only me talking really, it's trial exam night again, which I always think is very nice. The topic is advertising, as I already mentioned. There will be two different exams focusing on different aspects of the topic, as always. I was trying to include as many different aspects as I could, and then kind of trying to round it up a little bit. I will quickly, as always, I will quickly talk you through the exam paper. First of all, you will get an introduction, a topic of which you now know a lot, as you have probably all watched the stream of last week when the introduction session was the topic. If you haven't, go back to it. Was a lot of information on what to talk about in the introduction. In any case, you will be asked some questions about your career and future plans. We had that last week. Talk about your school career, talk about what you want to do in the future, why you think the A-levels in English and German and Maths and the Fachbereich are a good thing to have. Then you get a role, stick to it, that is very important also in the exams. In my case, it is a business management class, and you've been talking about marketing strategies and the benefits of advertising. Benefits is another word for advantages. So why is it a good thing? As you needed a topic for a presentation in English, you decided to elaborate on it a little bit because it is useful for your colleagues as well. That's kind of the situation. So you're in front of a school class. You have to talk about the advantages of advertising. So why is it a good thing? Important is that you don't only think about yourself, because usually we tend to only think about like, why is advertising good for us? So we know a lot about the product, we know about the choices we have, or about the stuff that is out there basically. But then in a good exam, in an exam that includes more different aspects than only one, you should also consider the company. Why is it good for the company, which is probably a quite obvious thing. Maybe also, that would be bullet point number 2, the economy. Advertising brings a lot of money, and you should mention that as well. So going away a little bit from only this one-sided perspective kind of thing. So what economic advantages does it bring? For who does it bring economic benefits, and so on and so forth. Children and advertising. Some countries, as you may know, have like advertising bans. It's a kind of weird way of spelling it. There's a an A that is much bigger than all the other letters. Why is that? Anyway, some countries have advertising bans on certain products. The only example that I can spontaneously think of is Sweden. They don't advertise toys and toy stores during prime time, so that will be roughly the time from, I don't know, 8 to 10, something like that, because they say that's bad influence on the kids. You should know something about that as well. Why, maybe also from the other perspective, why do kids make such a good target group for advertising? And they do. And your favorite TV commercial, that is like something that you can prepare at home, and because it's a quite likely question to come. Is there a TV commercial that you maybe not like, but find memorable at least? Then the talk and the discussions. You have a text, what advertising does to us. There's more the psychological standpoint, like what does advertising influence, how does it influence us, and so on and so forth. Use the information from the text. You have a link that you will get posted afterwards. And then the roundup thing, follow-up discussion, some questions. I will then, I will try and take notes this time, because if not, I always forget. And then I'll talk you through a couple of aspects of the exam, like stuff that I noticed, stuff that I think were really good or could be improved or whatever. Yeah. Say hi to Chris.
Hello.
There he is. That was a very elegant move, like.
Yeah, I tried to make it as elegant as possible.
Well, then, does that work? Are we both? Yeah, that's nice.
Yes, I hope you can. Yeah, I think it works.
Yeah.
No? Yeah.
Sort of. As long as we are both in the picture, that's.
Yeah, we're both able to.
Decent.
Yeah.
Okay, so as we have said, that's the role, but of course, like for the first exam, we will do the introduction round. We probably skip it in the second one because it's kind of superfluous to like say the same thing twice. The first one will be real life exam kind of thing. So he will do the introduction and he will tell us something about the future and the status quo and so on and so forth.
So my name is Chris and I decided to do the A-levels because I wanted to gain knowledge actually. And I wanted to be able to study, to have the opinion, or not the option, I'm sorry, to study at the university. And in the past, I started working as a mechanic in a workshop, in a local workshop.
Nice.
I still like it actually, but I just wanted to gain knowledge and actually learn some new languages, especially English, of course, because I didn't really speak English in the past.
Okay.
And now I think I've improved. Yes.
I'm sure you have. It's a pity not to have spoken English in the past. It's one of those things that's definitely worth it. You are an expert on advertising, I have heard.
Yes, I am.
That's great, because it's a very interesting topic, or at least I think so. Would you mind telling us, something about why advertising is a good thing? Like, usually we find it quite annoying, like commercial breaks during movies and so on, but it's a good thing as well.
Well, of course, advertising can be a good thing, especially speaking from the customer side, not from the company side. At first, since think about the scenario, you're the customer, of course, and you might get to know a product you've never heard of, which could be beneficial for you, not just, I don't know, toys, toothpaste, toothbrush, or something that the normal stuff you see on TV, but something you may benefit from. Maybe there is a special language program that is advertised on TV or on Facebook or on any social media or on the internet even. And of course, for the company, we don't have to speak about it really. For a company, it's really good, of course. Advertising has been one of the most powerful tools for companies to raise their units sold, basically. And of course, if we talk about advertising in the combination with the advertising in Austria, which is also a big thing, I guess, especially if we talk about Tyrol. There is a lot of advertising going on from the Tyrol brand, if you might call them. If you drive over the Europa Bridge, there I don't know if it's still there, the sign, but there used to be a very big Tyrol sign or advertising billboard, like And of course, this is very good for Austria's economy, since Tyrol is one of the biggest tourist hotspots, I'd say, especially in winter and summer. Which, of course, people that make their or decide to come here to Tyrol and spend their holidays here, they spend their money, of course, and it's good for the economy.
Definitely.
What I really think is what is really important too, when speaking about advertising, is using advertising bans. In Austria, I don't know about any bans actually, since, well, I don't watch that much TV, so I can't really tell if there are specific bans, but I know of certain adjustments you can make to social media profiles, accounts from your children, maybe, where you can basically tell Facebook or Instagram to not show specific advertising. I don't know, it's a filter you can use, and not a photo filter, of course. Yeah, where you can ban certain advertising. But as you've already told us, in Sweden there is an advertising ban on toys.
Yep.
Yeah. Which I think is a great thing to do. It may lead to some controversies about the freedom of of the media, basically. Yeah, and my favorite TV commercial, I actually don't have one, but I think I saw one. It's a new one of Kit Kat.
Okay.
That's a really nice one, I think. But, so it's something different. It's not like.
We all gonna, now that you've mentioned it, we're all gonna look it up. Like,
yeah,
people will all be like, "Hey, Kat,
it's cool.
Commercial.
You should watch it now. Look it up. Don't do the Kit Kat because there's palm oil in there.
You mentioned a lot of benefits of advertising, and in the same go, basically, you said that we ban and filter certain elements of advertising. What's the bad things then? Like, why do we need filters when talking about advertising? Why should we?
I think.
Why do we block certain things?
Certain things like that present the ideal male type or female type or body type. I think this should be banned from your children's accounts, Facebook and so on, or maybe they're just using Insta.
Of course.
To prevent it, I know that's very hard because, of course, everywhere are billboards and other advertising that shows the ideal body type of either male or female. But I think that could be a step towards a non-biased gender world, I guess.
Good point. A gender world. That was a nice way of putting it. Would you extend the power of advertising and therefore the necessity of blocking it? Would you extend that to like dangerous stuff as well? Alcohol, fast food, cigarettes?
Yeah.
Should stuff like that generally be advertised? Like?
Yeah, I think those things shouldn't be advertised. But of course, the companies need money since they don't have any. No, of course, the company side, I do understand advertisement, but things like cigarettes or alcohol or any violence or shouldn't be advertised. And yeah, today there are still, I think that the cigarette advertisements, I'm not sure, but I have the feeling that they kind of decreased. It was way more in the past, especially with drinking and smoking. It's super awesome. Some portrayed it as a super manly thing.
Does Austria advertise cigarettes?
No, I don't think
Austria
so.
doesn't really, do it? I think I've never seen a cigarette, like alcohol, yes, but I think I've never seen a cigarette ad. Like,
yeah, I think it has,
the Americans do. They definitely do.
I think it has to do with the European Union, but I'm not sure if they have a ban on it.
Could be.
That might be a ban, yeah.
Could actually be. Because one thing is, like, advertising affects our brain, obviously. How much can we control the influence it has? Like, is there anything we can do, or are we really that influenced, or what's your opinion on that?
Yeah, we are really influenced, I think, and then it's subconsciously influenced, I think. There are certain techniques that advertisement companies like to use, especially if we think about product placement. It has become a common thing for us that there are movies where I can see maybe the Windows logo or the Apple logo on a computer, and the character drinks Heineken beer, or I don't know. We all know about it. I think that's some kind of a bit subconsciously. Subconsciously, I can't speak the word now. Forgot it.
Hard one though. Hard
one. Especially because we really got used to it, and I think most people don't really.
Really. Well, then there's only so much we can do, is it?
No,
not really.
Basically, being aware helps, I think. I try to be as aware of advertising as possible. But you really have to have, I think, a certain knowledge how advertising works, because normally just people think, no, there is no advertising.
Just watching and go, yeah, that's true. Well, yeah, so we're gonna make all those people out there aware of the dangers of advertising. Yeah. Thank you very much. Time's up, actually. Thank you. Okay, I have a great list of things that I wanted to point out. Writing stuff down actually really helps. One thing that always comes up, or that frequently comes up in exams or also in questions about exams, is the aspect of making mistakes. In the very beginning, there was something that I did not write down and therefore can't remember, that he said wrong, but he then corrected himself, which is good. So if there is a mistake that you make and that you notice immediately, it's okay if you correct yourself. So self-correction is a thing, but it actually does prove that your English is quite good if you can correct yourself, if you hear the mistake, basically. So don't be too like, oh my god, I made a mistake and stuff. Correct yourself and then it's fine, sort of. Make sure that you use some good words. Oral exams are at the B2 level, which means that you should prove your vocab skills. In his case, there were words like beneficial, or the nice word towards the end, the subconsciously. First of all, subconscious is a word that you should have in your unit vocabulary about advertising, because that's one of those words that we need. Subconsciously subconsciousness, das Unterbewusstsein. That's stuff that we need. My point is, make sure that you have some good vocab in your exams. Prepare a list of words that are really B2 level. There's also software on the internet that helps you check the level of your words. You should have B2, so we had scenario, beneficial, subconsciously, stuff like that. That was really good vocab. That's stuff that you should prove. I also like the example, the brand Tirol advertising Schleichwerbung type of thing as soon as you cross the Austrian border from Italy, which is a good example on how advertising benefits the economy. Was not necessarily the example I was thinking of, but that's fine. I wouldn't have thought about that, or I wouldn't have thought about that aspect, but that was a really good point. What you make out of the points, like the value for the Austrian economy, is up to you. What you make out of the exam questions is up to you. So that was not the example I had in mind, but it was nevertheless a very good example. Yeah, I think that was it for the first one. As I said, make sure that you have like a list of core vocabulary for each topic. That first of all shows that you really put some effort into the preparation of the topic, and it also shows that you have vocab skills at a B2 level. Good. I will quickly tell you what I want in the second exam. It's about advertising, surprise. Questions about career and future plans. We will skip this part now because he's still Chris, the car mechanic, who did it for additional knowledge. I like that role actually. Car mechanics are very useful people as well. So we are talking about we are having a presentation again. It's business management this time. Business management in whatever sort of setting, can be at the MC or whatever. You put together a presentation. This time it's about advertising strategies. I would definitely recommend having a look into it. Advertising strategies, if this is a topic, advertising strategies are as well. So advertising strategies would be, I don't know, the fluffy bear in my great picture, for example. He would be an advertising strategy. Or the fact that so frequently products are advertised by like this happy family concept kind of thing, like the Schokobons, for example. You know, you have this happy family and this dancing chocolate thingy. So that would be advertising strategies. So that's what I want to know. The role of social media marketing nowadays, very important. Why is Instagram, Facebook, and so on and so forth? Why is there so much advertising? Product placement and celebrity endorsement. That would be, Cristiano Ronaldo would be an example for that, for example. Then we have a look at the pictures. And, well, we are going into depth here with the advertising strategies. I want to know the strategy behind them and why they work. Maybe also an opinion whether or not they are good or not. And, well, there's a text, 13 most common advertising strategies. Quite good text, or so I think gives you a quite concise overview of a lot of advertising techniques. Some of which we might not even be that familiar with. I was trying to come up with examples for each of them. Couldn't for each and every one or each and everything. So might be interesting for you as well if you want to elaborate on that. Okay.
Yo.
Ready for the second one? This is a very useful thing. Okay. So
I'm still the mechanic.
You know, you're still here because you like English so much.
Yeah, I love it, actually.
You don't.
It's my hobby.
Sure. And you do stuff like that for fun at home.
Yes.
Sure.
Exams all the day.
He's lying, but, well, he's just trying to convince you out there that English is the greatest thing on earth, which I think it is, but then I might be biased here. So after the introduction, I, in this case, want to know something about advertising strategies because, well, all the ads on TV are so different. They must be based on some sort of strategy.
Yeah.
Would you mind elaborating on some of them for me, please?
Of course, and I'd like to elaborate with them on them with different examples.
That's good.
I'd start with an example, and especially you all know about the advertisement where you should, where the guy or girl in this advertisement wants to recommend you a certain type of toothbrush.
Mm-hmm.
And normally, those, we all know those are actors, but of course, in the advertisement, they're called doctors, which, of course, makes a good impression on the, I just wanted to say, no, on the customer, because they think, yeah, there's a doctor, he or she has to know all about it. And the same goes with the other picture you just showed. I think it came into my mind there was one brand of toilet paper that was called Charmin, and there was a bear that was shaking with his butts, his fluffy fur and all the stuff, and it made a good impression of being fluffy, actually, and super expensive, of course. Of course, strategies are also used with celebrities. Is a big thing, I think, but I just wanted to go back to the doctor advertising thing. Of course, it is used with all jobs, or if you have a car that has to be repaired, of course there is a mechanic that makes any suggestion you should buy different things or a different type of oil or something. So those are really strong strategies that are used, or just a few of it actually. Social media marketing is nowadays one of the biggest marketing aspects, I'd say, of companies, or a big part of it. And of course they have to use it, since normally, so the smaller ones are free, you can just post things, but of course you can also buy advertisement or buy advertising slots and choose your audience, your people, so you can adjust the age of your future customers, male or female, and even where they should read your advertisement or watch or see your advertisement. So it's a really big thing. Social marketing, there are hundreds of books out there you can read about social marketing, and I think that's one, it's the future, since it's just easy to make money out of social media when you have a company. And of course this also is a big thing with also speaking of social media, is also a big thing when it comes to celebrities and endorsement from certain companies. I think it's best portrayed in Instagram. They're just not only celebrities, there are people that have a certain amount of followers. They get free products to review on or get endorsements. The same goes in the music business. If there is a good musician out there who produces a ton of videos, he or she is very likely to get an endorsement from a drum company or another music industry based company. Yeah. So a very, very big thing nowadays. And of course the product plus placement, we all know about it. That is a very crucial tool, I'd say, of today's advertising strategies. Yeah.
Thank you very much. You mentioned marketing on Instagram and so on and so forth. Can I ignore it? Like, is there a chance to have, I don't have Instagram, is there a chance to have an advertising free Instagram account, or does that not work nowadays anymore? Can I not block it? Like,
you can. Just thinking if I can show it. No, I can explain it. There is the feed on Instagram, and you get advertisement. I get advertisement. I didn't even kind of follow the company, or even I didn't even like anything. That's just random advertisement.
okay.
And even not just in the feed, you also get it in the stories.
Okay.
So when you're watching through the stories, suddenly advertisement appears.
Okay.
Yeah.
But there's not much that I can do unless I change it somehow. But
I think I tried it a few times, especially when it's in the feed. You can click on it, or tap on it, and then you can kind of, there is a like a pop-up which tells you, why am I seeing this? Then I don't know, you can block it, but then it reappears.
Okay.
It's just this single advertisement you can block.
Okay. So basically, punchline is it's hard to avoid.
Yeah.
Okay.
Since the companies pay a lot of money for it.
it. Like, it's not a, like, I think advertising is a topic that the more you think about it, the more you reflect on it, and the more you know about it, the better it is. Do you think Instagram advertising, or I don't know if Snapchat does advertising, but advertising on social media in general, is that dangerous for like 14 or 15-year-olds? Is that a dangerous thing?
Yeah, it can be actually. Yeah. If they're not aware how certain advertisement strategies work, they can be dangerous. Of course, it depends if we're maybe speaking about alcohol advertisement, maybe. Even some kind of, we also pardon me, we had the same thing before, like with body types, or the ideal body type for male or female. And of course, if there are, I don't know, advertisement like trailers from movies, horror movies,
good aspect.
but those are normally, they're advertised, the trailers, but you can find them everywhere on YouTube.
True. That would have been a dangerous thing for me as a kid. I would have watched it, even though I wasn't allowed to. You're right. We mentioned the celebrity endorsement, or celebrities in general. What's the crack of what's the strategy behind the Ronaldo ad? Like, he's a famous soccer player, yes. Why would a company have him advertise a watch that most people probably can't afford? Like, what's the idea behind it?
I think that's just to gain momentum for the company. Maybe normally companies that sell or produce very expensive things are well known, but in this case it's connected, I think, to being gentleman-like, different I wanted to say it. I forgot it. I tried to
rephrase.
Basically to show that those watches are actually for people that have money, but Ronaldo is of course a gentleman and also uses these watches.
Yeah.
And with this, since he's very, very famous, the company gains customers, future customers. And I guess there are also rich customers that like Ronaldo, so
Definitely.
and there are actually a lot of rich people, so
from a visual point of view, do you think that's a good advertisement? Like, do you find it appealing? Would you say, would that be something that appeals to you? Let's put it that way.
No, actually not.
No.
I think it's not super exaggerated or something, but it's no, I just don't. I'm not a watch guy. Actually.
Okay, probably that helps. Yeah. Like, you know, it's very selective.
It's quite no, it's not. No.
What's the mess? We talked about the bear already. I think the word fluffy and the bear and toilet paper sort of makes sense. Like there is a there's a storyline behind the whole thing. I also like the fact that it says honest ads, like as compared to all the lies that are out there. But yes, anyway, yes. That's a really clever thing to do. What's the message in the last one? It's in German, but I guess the wordplay and the pun only work in German, really. I can't see how that would work in English.
Voll die Flaschen, aber gut im Bio. Yes, I think the pun is really good. So it's a really awesome slogan, actually. But of course, I don't know about those super fancy fruit juice, but smoothies. I'm sorry. Those smoothies? Yeah. But I think it's just the same as every other smoothie. Although there are from Chiquita and our Bio. I don't know about it. There's a lot of sugar in it, I'd guess so. But same stuff. But the advertisement looks really appealing since there are fruits and it's fresh and it's healthy.
No, that was actually something that I just. I won't be able to remember that. The Coke Light ad, one of my all-time favorites in general.
Coke Light is awesome.
Oh, I love this ad. I love the puppets. They're great. But then they got in trouble with the real Barbie company because they were not allowed to produce it. Yeah. So that was a advertising battle out there. Would you you seem to know quite a lot about the topic. In your field of interest, I don't know, be it sports or be it job-related stuff, does advertising influence you in that special field? Like, obviously, you don't seem to be that interested in watches and in smoothies, and neither in smoothies, but I don't know. Let's say you in sports, I don't know, or in music.
I guess it influences me somehow, yeah. Especially if I see, I'm a company I really like because they produce good product. If they put out something new, I really get into it, watch videos and try to maybe test it and maybe buy it if it's really good. Of course, I'm influenced by things also. If it's sports, if there is a super cool jacket or something, I might buy it.
So you make a difference between ads of products that don't interest you and that you therefore kind of ignore, and stuff that you do recognize and read up on, or read basically. Okay, well, I guess that's what most people do. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
So, my great pictures.
This one,
same as before, a very quick analysis or a very quick, idea of what I thought. I thought that the example with the doctors, the Dr. Best kind of thing, was a quite good example because it did not feature in any of my pictures. There was no such advertisement, so there is no Dr. Best. So that was his own contribution. That was a thing that he thought of that wasn't dictated by the paper, basically, or by the task sheet. So that was very good. Also, that's true this scientific approach is definitely a marketing strategy. Also in radio ads, if you have all those car mechanics talking to you over the radio in the car that tell you about how dangerous it is if you get stones on your windows and so on and so forth, and if they have a crack and so on, that would be the same thing. There's experts on certain topics and they tell you what can happen. The discussion on the social media marketing was very interesting. I think also the explanation kind of did elaborate on the social media point a lot. He seems to know something about that. That's also something that you can focus on in the exam. It's there is a dialogue part, and you can kind of a little bit, you can steer the conversation a little bit in a direction that suits you. So if social media marketing is something that you happen to know a lot about, like kind of shift the conversation in that direction. I thought about an example actually when we talked about the smoothie advertisement, which might have been an advertising hoax. That's also something that is quite popular. So companies basically publish fake news about themselves, or in order to become more interesting. But in any case, there was a company producing smoothies, and they produced offensive ads in like a kind of racist direction, or at least they were interpreted in such a way. But it was not a racist advertisement at all. It was a campaign that was meant to raise awareness about racism, and then a second company kind of joined in, and there was this whole like discussion going on the internet about how far advertising can go. As I said, it was not a racist advertisement. On the contrary, they didn't want to be racist. They wanted to raise awareness about the issue. They wanted to say, well, guys, there's still a lot of everyday racism, Alltagsrassismus out there. The whole thing went quite big on the internet, and well, might be useful as an example for you. Also, maybe for the first task, the task that we did before. That this might be a danger, that advertisements get misinterpreted and so on and so forth. They were misinterpreted on a large scale. The company had to clarify that it was not racist, and then that they kind of did it on purpose because they knew that it's going to spark discussions, and that went quite well. But then I think there's also still some people out there who don't really believe that it was a raising awareness campaign. In any case, you may want to do some research on that. First of all, it's a really interesting case, and then it's probably also an example about the powers of advertising, about the importance of advertising. Yeah, I think that was it from our side. Is there any?
No, unfortunately, Natalie, we don't have any comments today.
Okay, so well, yeah, should there be any questions at a later stage about the topic, let us know. I think advertising is a very interesting topic. You can also like steer the conversation into a quite creative direction. I think that's an advantage of the topic. Let us know if there's questions. Let us know if there's anything we can do for you.